40 years ago, maybe longer, you had a lot of cultural figures speaking out on the issues of the day. Like if you look at the Vietnam War, civil rights movement, now there's barely anyone. There's you're putting your head above the parapet and talking out. But there's not many. There's like Susan Sarandon and there are a couple others, but it's few and far between. Do you sense the same thing, that there's just been a closing of the mind in terms of the cultural sphere? And if you do agree with that, why do you think that is?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I do get it. I do get that it's happened. It's a slow process of desensitization, I think, in society, in general. And with me, it sort of goes back to the hopes and dreams that I had as a 16-year-old, walking from Aldermaston to Trafalgar Square and listening to Bertrand Russell back in the day.
Wow.
With him talking about us getting rid of the independent nuclear deterrent and the Trident things and the this and that, and thinking that we might have a chance of changing government policy and blah, blah. And here we are now. And it wouldn't surprise me if we don't wake up in the morning because we're all dead. Because the Third World War will have happened. I mean, look what they're doing in the Ukraine. And they're now, the Ukrainians are now using American missiles to knock out Russian early warning. That's the most dangerous thing that they could possibly be doing is attacking Russian defense systems. It's insane. But that's another question. But what has happened? How have we become desensitized? Well, I guess by never stopping murdering people for our nefarious gains. So if you want to carpet bomb Laos because it's next door to Cambodia or next door to Vietnam or whatever, and because you're in Vietnam for some reason that nobody can fathom, except you're worried about the domino effect of communism spreading around the world and destroying democracy. Obviously, that was all complete nonsense, and it's there, we see what happened. And what is the upshot of it? But nevertheless, we never did anything about it. We never went, God, what a terrible mistake that was. Let's never do that again. And the American empire is a terrible, terrible, evil leader. And we follow. Willy-nilly, the Europeans have followed America down its terrible, terrible path of bloodshed and hegemony all over, not just all over Central and South America, but all over the world, interfering in other people's politics. And what for? For lithium or copper or whatever they happen to have. It has nothing to do with anything except power and money. Why did they oust the democratically elected president of Peru last year? Lithium. Or whatever it is, and it's so obvious, and it's so no. So, why do I keep coming back to human rights? Well, hold on a minute. It's 1948, December the 10th, Paris, Universal Declaration of Human Rights, blah blah blah, 30 articles. Go and read them, whoever you are out there, if you haven't. They're very, very simple. We have the right to life and property and blah 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 under the law. No, we don't. We don't have any rights, but we seem content. And it's interesting because we're coming up to a general election in England. We the people appear content not to have any human rights because in England we sort of feel as if maybe we do because we're not having genocide committed on them like his family are. But imagine if we were, how we would feel. But luckily, we three round this table and everybody watching this program and almost everyone I ever speak to has enough empathy in their heart that it doesn't matter that they're not being murdered. They care about the brothers and sisters who are. And so we fight back as husbands. Now, why more of us in the music industry don't fight back? I don't know how they do it.
Is it fear?
It's all over the world, I think. There are a few people who stand up to be counted, but there are an awful lot of people who don't. I know a few of them in my industry who've come clean to me and said, you can't ever tell anyone this, but I really admire you for standing up, and I would, but I'm scared shitless. My career, gone. In a heartbeat. The Israeli lobby will destroy my livelihood in a heartbeat.
Are they, the Israeli lobby, are they that powerful?
Yes.
Can you talk a bit?
They own Congress as well. It's not just the music industry or anything. The Israeli lobby, we know, owns Congress. You know, all this talk about, oh, Miriam Adelson is giving Donald Trump $100 million. I mean, $100 million is a lot of dosh. And it's not just her.
You've been a victim of the Israel lobby, though, like
yeah, well,
infamously. Can you talk a little bit about what they've done to you and how do they operate? If they, like, you're speaking out for Palestine